back. The last video, I got cut off a little bit at the end. I just wanted to review the parts real quick. So we've got our stand, right? That's what anchors us into the ground. We've got our table, gives us a nice flat parallel surface. Remember, the tables actually have holes in them. We've got our scrap board so that we don't screw up the table or our parts. Got our chuck, all right, our bit, our power buttons right here, on and off. Normally there would be a speed gauge, all right, it would look like this, but we took ours off. We've got our handle over here that returns back to normal, our height adjuster, and then that last part that I started to talk about is right here, okay, the chuck key. I remember the chuck key, you insert it into the chuck to tighten and loosen so that we can take our bits out. All right, so in this video, I want to talk about how to operate this tool safely. The very first thing we need to make sure we do is we have our safety goggles on and our sleeves rolled up. All right, this thing's going to spin at a really high high speed. So if if my sleeve gets stuck in there, it's going to twist up my sleeve. I'm going to get hurt. There's going to be sawdust coming out of this, and if it hits me in the eye, it's not going to feel good. All right, so the very first thing that we need to do is make sure that we have our scrap wood board down. I actually use some pump clamps here to keep it in place so it doesn't move. We also need to make sure that our bit is the correct size and our bit is tight. So I'm going to talk about the chuck key real quick. The chuck key, notice it's got these grooves all the way around it. It's got this bit sticking out. And then on the actual chuck, there are also grooves and these holes around it. So what I'm going to do is take my chuck key and put it right in that hole. And then as I spin the chuck key, you'll see that those teeth all kind of spin together and the bit comes out. So as I spin it, those teeth, or the little like claw inside the chuck, is going to loosen or tighten. All right, so I'm going to put that bit back in right now. See if you guys can see me do this. So I've got my bit. I'll put it inside those teeth and then tighten up the chuck key. All right, the most important safety rule with the drill press is when you're done with the chuck key, take it out. Okay, this is just slotted in there. So when I turn this on and that spins really fast, this chuck key can go flying. This thing becomes like a bullet. Very, very dangerous. Make sure you take the chuck key out. All right, so I've got my safety board on. My chuck is tight around the bit. I'm going to set my height to something really high. So again, I'm just going to twist this height adjuster up. I'm just going to set it high for demonstration purpose. And then I'm going to grab my workpiece. In this situation, I'm just going to drill a hole in this piece of scrap wood. All right, I'm going to put my scrap wood down on the table. Now, this piece is big enough that I could just hold it while I do my work. But normally, if we're doing something small, maybe something like this, under 4 inches, I'm going to have to clamp it to the table. All right, I like to use these pressure clamps. All right, for something like this, all you're going to do, squeeze it. See if I can do this one hand. I don't think so. All right, all you're going to do is squeeze them and kind of get it tight onto the table. Okay, so this now shouldn't move too much. All right, that piece of wood, the workpiece that I'm working with, is not going to swivel or move out of place. Not only can I guarantee that the hole goes where I want it, but it's not going to spin on the drill bit or move. Okay, so always try to clamp your workpiece down. All right. So I'm ready to start drilling now. What I'm going to do is turn it on. And I want you guys to notice that as I'm drilling, I'm going to bring my bit down, go down a little bit, and then up a little bit. Down a little bit, then up a little bit. Down, up, down, up, down, up. The reason I'm doing that is because there's going to be a lot of sawdust created from this drill. It's going to clear that sawdust out of there. And then it's also going to reduce friction on this drill bit. All right, that drill bit's rubbing in there a ton. And all that friction makes the drill bit really hot. So I shouldn't, when I'm done, I don't want to touch the drill bit because it's hot. Could still be spinning. And the hotter this gets, the more likely it is to break, have metal kind of shooting out. I'm going to turn it on and let you guys see what this looks like. Down, up. Down, up. All right, that's the drill press. You're going to go down, up, down, up. I'm also waiting till that stops before I clear out any sawdust and remove my part. Always wait for bits and saws to stop. All right, there is our hole right there. Looks pretty good. I'll see you guys in the next video.